You can see how the man is slowly losing his mind.
I've screamed to a pillow. Hello, chat. We're back.
Chat.
You'll never guess what time it is.
Everything. Yeah, that days now.
When I get to hell, they're gonna be playing this music at the gates. It's Wright's attorney today. We're back at it. And let's just, honestly, let's just not. I don't want to sit in this menu any longer than I have to.
Yeah.
Let's just get this over with. Hello, Witchy is here. Everyone thank Witchy for being here, or I would have just straight up canceled the stream. I do not have the energy for this game on my own. So everyone say thanks to Witchy. Anyway, this is a two-part trial, and I already want to shoot myself. Let's do this. January 8th, 9:46 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 1.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended up on a giant mystery.
It's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
No. Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
Look at that little flash of doubt in your eyes.
That was not doubt. That was, determination.
Sorry. I believe you. It's only time, Maggie. You better get going to the dependency. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. What the fuck you mean, uh-huh?
Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out! She doesn't need that! How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you've lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Have you taken up
Aromatherapy.
aromatherapy tea?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, it doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. Phoenix, we found this and gave it to him.
Phoenix, you...
I'm going to walk into traffic.
No!
This is the small bottle that turned up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow, look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Oh, what do you know? It doesn't have a label either.
And... it doesn't smell.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it a poison?
It's Sprite. I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Elg... What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Small bottle refiled into court record. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. How wonderfully convenient for the plot. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Jay's trial.
Jay, you stopped the stream.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
Come on, it's not that bad.
January 8th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Oh, God.
I don't know.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. Pencils ready, Your Honor. Plenty and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Gatto. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, honey.
Yeah, amazing. That's the word for it.
Come on, Nick. It's not that bad.
Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've asked me already, Mr. Gatto. What did the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today? Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. And you are the worst character in this fucking game. Why does he do that? Why is he like that?
Why?
Forgive me for asking, witness, but why are you here? The day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen, isn't that right? I hate this game. I hate this. This is like this is actually exhausting. Looking at Armstrong is like physically exhausting me. I hate the French so much.
Mom, you gotta be strong.
Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? I'm not intimidated. It's just annoying.
Come on.
Even French fries? French fries are American. I've decided, I've ruled. As an American, I've staked my claim. So the court, what happened today at Tribune? That's not even a word. Why are you making up words, Frenchman?
Why aren't you reading his lines, American man?
When it all happened, there was just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decos that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Or perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. Cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? This guy took 1 French class in, like, high school. Wait, there's been a fucking mirror this whole time? Where? What?
Wait, the mirror we saw in the kitchen or the other mirror?
What? In the restaurant, where we've been and have seen no mirror.
There was a mirror? What the fuck?
I said they will. Keep standing, so roll with it. I would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. The heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Same here, Phoenix.
The heck was... That was awesome. That was adorable.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Good luck.
At Trade-In. Glasses?
Mm-hmm. Does he mean that wizard blue lamb?
Well, it doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah.
You fool!
You're a genius, Jay!
The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? That boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side of the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in the mirror. Because both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente, you see, monsieur. Now that you think about it, it is not so odd, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head?
Why is he standing like that? Why?
Why is he posted up like that? I hate it. Order, order! Mr. Wright is correct! If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. Oh, bitter. Right, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? We don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase sorry apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. More of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. That's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Did you hear? His left ear. Rhymes. That's how you know it's important. Ha! Well, that's right. Get soused, you fancy bitch. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was old speedy for a minute there. That was good.
It's funny that I did not do an impression of Kudo there. That was just his voice.
Yeah, but it was still awesome.
Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Good luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of the contradiction you found is just a rash.
That is a disgusting metaphor.
But it worked.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? It has in Mr. Armstrong. Oh well, tell the court. They're all ears. Don't like the chest movements. I can explain. Please, if you work in La Plaza La Restaurant. Is everyone sitting comfortably? What?
Ew.
It was in the mirror of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. Why?
How?
Only one seat from which you could have seen the image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. But that's...
Wait.
But let me open the fucking record!
In a copy. Bro, are you okay?
Ace! Still not confusing, just aggravating. Can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. See, the funny thing is, Phoenix could be talking about any of the 3 men involved in this case right now. Armstrong, Gatto, or the judge.
Yeah, he means everyone.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
Oh jeez. Click, click, click.
What?
Nah, it's nothing. Sitting at a table. Why do you talk like this?
That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
Yes, it's much better, thank you.
Fucking French.
Fucking French. But the vase.
The vase is still standing.
Yep. You silly French bitch.
You sneaky Frenchman. Crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Would not exist. Ha! Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Fuck you, Gatto.
Ew, that was Gatto.
What is there something that should not exist in this photo? The vase, you greasy bitch. It's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? Possible connection, could that have with the witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Got him. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. Yet, the court can see there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. That seat is the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Why is he standing like that? Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time to get to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Gatto, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? That's right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. After this revelation, we returned back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? Ha! Get one shot in life. There's no turning back. Want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite? Then his problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If you can answer this, that'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
I can feel my blood pressure rising, but I feel like I can. More than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Oh god. I just had a really stupid idea.
Hmm?
Look, if it's a multiple choice thing, then we'll see, but like... Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
What the heck?
This is the stupidest possible answer. And I think that means it's the only one that it could be. I think it's more process of elimination here. Mr. Kudo has said his testimony with his whole chest. And he's stupid, and his brain doesn't work right, but I don't think he made a mistake to be the answer here. Your doctor is completely irrelevant. Which means
The only possible
that
conclusion
the only possible answer out of these three is... This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Nani?
Nani the fuck?
Nani the fuck? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenelg at all. It was an imposter. A phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. There's so many imposters in this case. Why are there so... Why does it keep coming up? I don't... I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I can tell, but we have to finish the game.
That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Right, what the fuck are you smoking? Oh. Wait, you believe that? Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom! My head's Gramps. Why don't you clear out the mirror, huh? What did you say? That's right. Are you saying that Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretending to be Glenn Elg acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection!
Get real, Wright. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... There we go, right up in Gemachino. But you push up in it. That's just there we go, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but honestly, stupider things have happened in this courtroom. There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right, well, Miss. If your restaurant really was to see the such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh, this is the most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribune that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events of the restaurant that day. Oui. French fear. The victim, Monsieur Elg, came to my restaurant alone. I remember an old man arrived and looked after him. There was no other customers. When he got where they were not in Monsieur Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. But no, there was no time for La Phony to do the acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all? Pardon. Give me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. Get the fuck out of my courtroom. Ah! What you've just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I'd had to punish you later. Execution. Perjury and for being French. But now we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. That perjury charge a bit too well. I'm guessing you'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Hold on a second.
Huh.
By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's better sip just for the experience. I said it was worth
You-
one sip, nothing more. The old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. You can ask about his arrival in more detail. Let's get a hard
that was
number.
it.
Get a hard
yeah.
number. How many minutes? I think it's one of these two.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
We're gonna flip a coin.
Are you really gonna do that?
Yeah.
Flip a coin?
Alright, I got a coin. Let's see. Heads, how many minutes? Tails, what time was it? Tails. Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. There's a clock in your restaurant! I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? Incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived, so the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? Before you have been jogging my memory, monsieur. I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Hasn't fucking stopped you before. The time and day will be added to the witness's testimony. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? At least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
Well, just after 2 p.m. Where's the...
It's up to 2 p.m.
Not
Wait.
that. This.
Yep.
You, goober! I'm afraid I've finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That must be the show Monsieur Elg was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder... You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving my lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one. I've got at least 4. They're right here, on the ends of my hair. Also, that show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. And it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, capturing a show that was already over, there's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. I'm taking this so seriously, I haven't even made an Among Us joke yet. Damn it! Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And that phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? But the performance, right, you are almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. Is this Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, that's right. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? He's in the kitchen with his medicine.
Oh.
Missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was their phony Glenelg. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
This isn't my job!
This isn't my fucking job! If there is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Wright. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence?
What's with the intense pressure and all of the sun?
But I had him with that contradiction. Turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. L concealed? It was inside Tribulations. It would have been... It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. Where could a body have been hidden inside the restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I don't know, maybe the only labeled place in the fucking map? I don't know, maybe this big, easily hidden room that has a lot of, like, empty space and cabinets and shit?
I don't know, maybe to hit the body in the oven, I don't know.
The body was hidden here. I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves this body was hidden in that location?
Look at this thing.
Look at this shit! Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. This bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. L visited his ear doctor, where he received this medicine? Can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. Contents of the bottle that matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elg. Glenelg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Oh dear. Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. Now please, for the love of God, stand up straight. It is not pleasant to look at you. Order! This is extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Glenelg? No, I could never do such an horrible thing. Mr. Gatto! Be down this. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. You have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Day and I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. To take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my age-deficient friend? The trap is whatever, yes. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish.
What the fuck?
Mr. Armstrong was so terrified that he started speaking Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? Absolutely not. Let's hear it. You've got one shot, Black Gramps. Witness, the court will permit you to take... I'm so old. The court will permit you a chance to make one final statement. But under oath again, Mr. Gatto's coffee mug awaits you. Fast as my gavel. We will beat you to death with them. They say in the movies. I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
Oh, final testimony, thank God.
The confession.
The confession.
It's true. I hid my body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with it because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. So that's Tigray.
Yeah.
You were forced? By who? Let's try a different question then. When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at the table?
You?
A man!
Man, he was telling the truth.
Yeah! Hey, cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's one more thing I need to do. Gotta break this guy in half with my bare hands.
Wait. You can do so after trial.
Just like the real Armstrong would.
Honestly, yeah.
Anyway, we know what to do here. Man forced me to do it, I had no choice. Go to profiles and to bring up Mr. Tomato Man here. This cherry-flavored bastard. Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, really?
I don't know, maybe a month ago in this very courtroom. This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. There's no point in trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre. At least, not while he had this on you. This contract. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. You had no way of paying it back, did you? Your restaurant sucked. That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. As you say.
Mr. Armstrong!
That tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the income. The unconscious Maggie out of the dining area. I'm not... Fucking... Why do you talk like this, Armstrong? And into the kitchen. After that, I just had to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. Why does he hold his tongue like that?
Ew.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. Poison in the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Is that your doing as well? Maggie, you had done it. It is despicable. Mr. Gatto! We'll summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. 30 minutes. What? Trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand, but a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Gatto. We'll resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Till then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
Okay, so I kind of want to thank Gatto because he won't let this trial to go on.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I could take another investigation trial back and forth.
Yes, because he's
Here we
also
go.
so down with this French man.
This better be the end of this fucking case.
Ugh.
January 8th, 1:21 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We're almost got this case won now, man.
I hope you're right. I wish I could agree. I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now. Said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. Gatto picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You think Mr. Armstrong was lying?
I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're gonna need. Hey, pal! Mr. Case-making evidence arriving just on the scene! Detective Gumshoe!
Why are you so jumpy about Detective? You heard on the end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot!
Yeah, I'm not top knot.
Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. Ah! No kidding. Gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything! Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back there to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will reconvene by then.
But Nick, we still don't have the really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the fingerprints on this for me? Right? Because this is like the only piece of evidence that mentions unidentified fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Take that!
Take that! You're going back to the station anyway. Could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey. It's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. All bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Alright, okay. I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose this case before I get back. Pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Nick, I've gotta find the imposter.
Nick! Nick!
He's still among us.
Nick, it's like Among Us!
You need to vent, Nick.
We have to identify the imposter! I saw Furio Tigre vent! Oh, now reconvene. Mr. Gatto, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job. No problem. Tamed him? His name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. What? Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand.
This fucking guy.
This fucking dude. You witness? Please state your name and occupation for the... Don't hide under the table, Maya! Unless there's room for me down there, too. Hey, would you mind what you say to me? Nothing, I didn't say nothing, honest. I guess that fear would induce a Brad Brooklyn accent, the judge. I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this thing? Was it you, Spiky? Heck, no, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Being shot. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that holds you in. Oh, cool.
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Maya, it is hard to take you seriously when you are still balled up below the stand. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I know nothing about no stinking incident, mass boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bounds? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright! You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Oh, maybe I should have brought it. Jesus, Phoenix.
Jesus, get a grip, Nick.
Tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. Then I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Ted Lender every single day. Those want to check my alibi, just ask Violetta. Hey, at last I found my pen! Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. Ah! Yeah, what is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Home life? Me? Listen up, Smiley. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. Don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator spot. It's just a minute, that's really not. This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Yeah, very well. I have no choice but to impose penalty system here. They'll be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my boss. Go and impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
What the fuck?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it, Nick.
Maya, stand up!
Fuck you. I'm standing here under the table.
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya?
I wouldn't. No.
God, he is
No.
so red. Why?
Tomato boy. Tomato boy.
We're pressing. You sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. Seen these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? He writes everything in my schedule. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. The tiger did all December isn't the issue. Important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. Press harder!
Always press harder.
Mr. T. Gray, what you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, right? You know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I'd never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I had never seen that young kid before. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
We know that's a lie. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. December 3rd. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Gatto, if you could please... Mr. T. Gray, the court asks that you add that last statement to your testimony. Let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. I was talking about I was in the office. I never saw that kid before. Well, that's a lie. And this horse will agree with me.
Okay.
What?
No, nothing at
What?
all.
Alright, point to the part of that sentence that was incorrect. Claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. The date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. T. Gray, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad! You was actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
Oh, you finally stood up. That's one compliment I could do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. And witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. He's called me a liar! Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh! You're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Ha! But then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That's right. I'm a wizard. That is while you testify for the court again, Mr. T. Gray. Yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness? Never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elk. There was some lame guy with that name though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy. My office, 10 to lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never been to that Tribulations joint you's here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. That's them's lies. Fucking matches. I see. That all seems perfectly logical. But arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm going to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, Wright. I ain't no liar. It's the Tribulations thing that I know is crap. Matches, motherfucker!
Objection, motherfucker!
Mr. T. Gray, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. You've really never been to Tribulations before. What's a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? Who's been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order, order! Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Ah! Hey, sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me! I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. Okay, I was in the joint that day. What? Listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Hello. Looks like another just came in for another testimony. This close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elk on that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have.
I understand now.
What's up?
I know why he looks just like Phoenix. It's his blood father.
Oh god. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laying over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went back straight to my office. But you wouldn't be able to see the victim's table from the entrance.
Yep.
Hey, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I'm even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha! No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see that he pays a penalty. Mr. Gatto, that's my job! Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. How very Francisco of you, Gatto. Go do it! Yes, sir! Oh, God. Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you knows you's paying. Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here?
This case
You know, I should get
a
a whip. I wonder if there's any other prosecutor with a whip. Maybe they could point me in the right direction.
Hey.
I should have a sword.
You do not.
We went to kill the restaurant that afternoon. I opened the door to the door, saw them. No, you didn't, you spicy bitch. More plans! You're something of a loan-collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigray? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie-detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, right? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigray. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. But would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Hey, that's true! Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So, from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day. Because you met with him. Objection! Oh, have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elk, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That will do! Try to scout him long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? Hey, the killer murdered Glenn Elk and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Oh, it's very simple, Your Honor. It was Maya Fey! No, it was Tigray. It was definitely Tigray. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigray. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. Tiger is the king of the jungle. Why dares you to say that? Come on, we got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigray. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Phoenix. Mr. Wright. Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. Who's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Ha. But perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Gatto. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no. There we go, madam, and take a Cheeto, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. As the victim he saw the real victim or not, that doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Gatto. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha! Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. Phoenix! But anyway. Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? Boy, this case is a lot harder to read through after certain games releases. The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? It's simple. The only other human woman in this case.
It was John Armstrong.
It was Dick Gumshoe. Master of disguise. I gotta close my windows. Construction happening outside my building.
М. Да вы мои хорошие, да что такое? Да что такое?
That's better. Yeah, who is this woman?
Excuse me, I am very old.
I'm very old. Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. She's making the big mistake. You know who Violetta's grandfather is? Gonna be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick.
I'm not shaking. I'm fine.
I'm gonna go outdoor.
That would actually probably make things better. Where was I? Yes. The defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following.
Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true that there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh.
How very intriguing. Alright, Phoenix, time to make an enemy of the mob. There's just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. Only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? It's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. One thing to think about? Got it all wrapped up nice, alright? Just missed out on one real important thing. That can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? What? You really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ha! A troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Ugh.
Indeed. Witness, you will provide one more hot cup of testimony to the court.
That was horrible.
I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Ties to the victim.
Wait, why are you like this? Wait.
I don't know why he's doing that.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
loaned
not
out
talking
cash, about $100,000. That day, we was going to have a little chat. Kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. I won! I won $500,000. Got lucky, you know. Real lucky. Waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over.
Dumb.
Now, I see the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. Phoenix, he's a loan shark. You don't get that name for being a reputable loan industry. This isn't Sky Finance, alright? You are not looking at Akiyama. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. Well, I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what was it? There's a statement here that bothers me.
Definitely.
That last one. This bothers me. The waitress. You mean the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. I should push a little on this. How would have things gone if she hadn't acted? What do you mean things would have been over and done with? You was all there or what? Talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. All coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. Tiger's motive, huh? After the $100,000, they didn't have no other reason to kill a guy. Yes, you did.
Oh yeah.
So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. L owes you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. L, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. Kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? They were central to the last case, Your Honor. How fucking senile can one man be? How are you still allowed to be a judge? There's gotta be like an age cutoff, or like an aptitude test that you must have failed. Because the beard isn't the only part of his honor that's from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Ellick had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Ellick was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Ellick put up in order to borrow the money. Objection! You're trying to suggest that the witness's motive was to get hold of that program. Exactly. This may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Care to share it with us? I and Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million. Because he owed money to an even bigger fish. Take that! In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to her, these operations cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum! Someone should sue these HMOs! Yeah, the American healthcare system is a train wreck! Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up dead as a mole. Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Order! 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 And you say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright. Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. You say, Cadaverini? Bruno Cadaverini. mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Pwah! Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It all makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruno Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened. And he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 in the lottery. Left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy! He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move, to frame Mackie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. Then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Cooten. Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. Stouthouse, there's no way this chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Gatto? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Oh, order! The sanitary will clear the... Yous put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. Saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed in order to frame the accused? Do you know what this is, Mr. Gatto? It's a fake attorney's badge. That means that this man is not a defense attorney.
Look at this shit.
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you. Standing there in this very court a mere month ago. Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take a stand and testify that it was him? No. Hey! Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. Well, you made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court we deal with people's lives. If Mr. Gatto was right. Honor? For myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. Circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigray are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. To say he impersonated Glen Elk. To say he impersonated you. None of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ha! Sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get mauled. You's got that. Managed to do here was chase him around a bit. So close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. And one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I can get Maggie off the hook. Gumshoe, would you get here with the fucking bottle already? Witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigray. Gumshoe, this is not the time for the dramatic entrance!
Fucking finally.
Oh, never mind, there it is. Your Honor, sir. Wait! Detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry I took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. Here it is. My heart's counting on this, too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? The final, decisive piece of evidence. What? This is the second time Gumshoe's come in clutch in this case.
Yep.
July 2:48 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? Well, the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so, do you know who the print belongs in now?
You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know!
So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet! There is crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigray's paw prints, alright.
That's great. Now better Nick. What's wrong with you? We're hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Oh, what? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. He already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This was our last chance to help Maggie. Working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe. Maggie! You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. No, you didn't do it. The detective. Supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
Gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? The bottle!
I have an idea. It's not a good one, but it's something. She worked so hard to get that evidence. I think there was some way I could use it. January 8th, 3:04 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, right? Sure. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Thank Phoenix. Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. More of my time than you's gonna waste. I didn't know court before. Those lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, we'll talk us through it, Mr. Wright. I can't prove anything new with this evidence. backed into a corner. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Send this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. I have an idea. It's not a good idea.
But
It is an idea.
yeah.
This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. T. Wright. What? Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. The prints were on that gamesy looking bottle? Is that what you were saying? What the hell's in it anyway? Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Cannot believe that I am on the same mindset as Phoenix. But maybe we should be the lying scumbag lawyer everyone says we are once in a while.
Damn.
This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. L, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. Think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? Bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, this is the bottle we found traces of poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. I cannot believe that worked.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Got him. Finally. What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. Still haven't figured it out. Once you realize what you just said. I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who you's messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. Yous think I'm gonna let some jumped-up suit get the better of me? Sure. The last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. A phony trial with a phony lawyer, all played out by you, the biggest phony of all.
The lights are...
What's going on? Looks like a blackout.
Dear God.
Well done, Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Made my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Ow!
Oh, thanks.
Savor it. My face. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Ow! Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Spent the last half hour coming up with that. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigray, Mr. Gatto? He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elgor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. In the absence of genuine evidence, the tiger made one mistake. Indeed, he very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Miriam Tigray is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Oh no. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird,
Not guilty.
woo!
Oh.
That is all. This court is adjourned. Oh boy.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright letting me in all that trouble a month ago.
Mr. Tigray, please don't call him that.
Okay, but now I feel like I can't forgive him.
That's not,
What the
that's,
fuck?
I'm Mr. Wright. That wasn't me. That was like that was a huge crux of the case. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
It's Edgeworth! Oh no, it's just Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, we'll be heading off then. You're on, pal. Wait!
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
Well,
Um,
I got some
Huh?
detectiving to do. I knew you were innocent all along.
why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, I'll be heading off then, see you around. Wait up, detective. Just ran off.
Maggie, are you being so hard on him?
I don't know, maybe because he almost got me accused of murder. Guilty?
He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got that medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use.
It was pretty fucking important. It's what won us the case.
Maggie, but, it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy.
Uh,
Like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this.
I wanted to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He adopted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
Gotta prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom.
Look at all
I never
those
finished
we-
this lunch special.
No,
We will hand over the weenies.
look at all those weenies, Maggie.
A whole lot of weenies. There you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
Present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. And sausages.
These sausages are full of love. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know?
Yeah, me too.
Maya, it's not the time. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know?
Get you a burger on the way home. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay I eat this now? Oh. So, is it, Maggie? It's really good.
Significantly better than the food at the actual cafe, I imagine.
Yeah.
Case of the phony was brought to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start.
Recipe
Case
for
3.
turnabout.
Recipe for Turnabout. The end. The boy! He's back! Alright, well.
Oh, boy.
Suppose that's that for now. So, I think let's start that ending soon screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, until next time. So next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, as always, we will be continuing Yakuza 4 Legend difficulty. Getting properly into Tanimura's story. And next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. EST, same time as always, I will see you all back for more Phoenix Wright. Those of you in chat, thank you for coming out. It was lovely seeing your words. Witchy, thank you for joining me in the call today. It was very lovely to have you.
It was always my pleasure.
And this was a rough start today. I have already mentioned once I would not have been able to summon the energy to do this stream if you were not here, so I believe chat owes you a pretty grateful thank you in addition. And yeah. And those of you watching the VOD, of course, thank you for watching this after the fact. But until then, I've been Jay Tensical Rose, and I'll see you guys next time for Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, Case 4, Turnabout Beginnings. Bye-bye!
Bye.